That's right, everyone. It's the season 1 finale of the Wicked Wally Webcast with Jay, Maddog, Michaels. Hello, my Wicked Warriors. It's Wednesday night. And you know what that means? It's time for yet another action-packed episode of the Wicked Wally Webcast, soon to be the best hard rock, heavy metal talk show on the planet. I'm your host, Wicked Wally, and yes, we do this show live on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. So wherever you're watching this show, we want to hear from you tonight. Comments are already rolling in the chat. This is an interactive show. This is interactive entertainment. It's a party because a lot of us are stuck inside, and it's been a long pandemic, but we're having fun all together tonight. Already in the chat, we have some people. Maddog Michael stoked. Yes, that is the show for tonight. I am super excited. It is the season 1 finale of the Wicked Wally Webcast. We've been doing this for a whole year, kept this freaking show going, and I'm pretty excited that I have someone I've always wanted to talk to on tonight's show, and it's just, I can't believe it's actually coming true. Yes, Maddog Michaels is the guest, as Nate says in the chat. I'm so pumped for you, Wally. Thanks, Nate. I appreciate that. We have Celadofus says, yeah, killed it on the second take.
Yes.
That's the thing about doing a live show, right? That's okay. You know what? The YouTube video will look good. Anyway, back to the show. This is episode number 34 of the webcast. Like I said, it is the season finale, and I have never, like I said before, I've never been this excited for a guest. And I've interviewed some really talented, cool people, even some of the upper echelons of the metal world. I've actually interviewed a few of those people, but I'm still super stoked for this. And because we're joined by Maddog Michaels, Jay Maddog Michaels, the host and creator of metal, punk, rock, music video show. I think there's a little hip hop and metal and rap in there too. A video show, Chart Attack. This aired on Canada's YTV network in the early 2000s. Since then, Maddog has gone on to have a, not since then, actually before this, the show started, a very successful career in radio, currently co-hosting Canada's biggest drive-home talk radio show, streaming at News Talk 1010, that's the radio station, News Talk 1010, and nationally on iHeart Radio. So you can listen to this wherever you are. Maddog, he's highly entertaining. You're probably going to love him from tonight's episode and want to check out more of his stuff. So you can actually listen to his show wherever you are. On the interwebs. Throughout his 20-plus career, Jay has interviewed various major celebrities, including Lady Gaga, Pink, Janet Jackson, Gwen Stefani, and some metal bands as well. And we talked a bit about that with Jay before the show, the pre-interview. We're going to chat about that as well. If his show Chart Attack didn't exist, Wally may have never found a love for heavy music. I'm talking about myself in the third person right now. There might have been no Rock Bottom radio show and no Wicked Wally Webcast. This is the reason I'm a metalhead. So before we go ahead and introduce Jay, I quickly have to introduce my co-hosts because they're just sitting here idly by. And I say host with a plural. It's been forever since I've had two of you in the room. We have... Oh, there you go. Vito and Jason.
Woo! What's up, guys?
Hey, Wally.
Finally back in studio. It feels so nice.
And sounds like for the last time in a long time because we decided the new restrictions have been announced in Alberta. So
yeah, so it'll be a while before we get back.
Yeah, unfortunately, you have to compete with Kenny tonight because he's on the TV taking your viewers away from you.
Oh yeah, of course.
Asshole.
Well, he's giving. You know what? He's giving bad news, and this is going to be it's a feel good episode tonight. And I'm super pumped, super nostalgic. And when I get nostalgic, all the fun stories come out. So it's going to be a good show tonight. Some more folks in the chat. Tracy Holmes in the chat says hello.
Hello, Tracy.
Hello, Tracy. Hi, welcome. Okay, without further ado, I will mention really quickly, if you want to support the show, there's a way to donate. There's a link in the wherever you're watching this, there's links below, and you can buy Wicked Wally merchandise. Vito and Jay are wearing their Wicked Wally merchandise tonight. Says the show name on the back. Really cool stuff. So yeah, you can get some merch or donate to the show. And if you donate to the show, we make the show better. That's how we get the show looking better. That's how we improve the studio space. It's so crazy having people here.
Yeah.
And a full
Soak it in while you can.
Yeah, I know. This is the last chance we're going to be able to do this in a long time. Okay, anyway, without further ado, Jay, Maddog, Michaels, the man, the myth, the legend, welcome to the show.
How's it going, guys?
Good.
Wonderful. We are stoked.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's like, when's this Wally guy going to stop talking?
I took a stab on wardrobe tonight. I figured black metal tee would probably be cool. I figured that would work for everybody.
Yeah,
Black
absolutely.
Sabbath. Yeah, I saw them on their going away tour, the very last tour that they had, Black Sabbath. So
That was good.
that was stellar.
I did not go to that, unfortunately.
Ooh, yes.
I've never seen Black Sabbath live, so I have to hang my head in shame right now.
We have some more people tuning in live, and yes, this is a live show you're watching right now. If it's Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Mountain, 9 p.m. Eastern. If you're watching this is live, comments in the chat. You're part of the show tonight. Ask your questions, and we'll see. We'll ask Jay those questions, or if you have questions for us in studio, we can ask them as well. Anyway, so Jay, there are some burning questions that I have been waiting to ask you since I've been a teenager, and that's what I want to start off the show with tonight. And then we'll get into all of your pedigree and your background and all the cool radio stuff you do, because I definitely want to talk about that too. But before I do that, I just want to set this up a little bit. As I was alluding to in the intro, YTV was highly influential in my music taste as a teenager. I grew up in a small town in Saskatchewan. There was no much music, no MTV on our cable. No, we didn't have that. I don't think my mom could afford that cable package, so we didn't have that.
Fair enough.
The only country and oldies on the radio, and there was this shining light in the distance, Jay. There was this oasis for a young kid surrounded by country music. And I still don't like country music, and that was Chart Attack, the heavy edgy music that was on there. It wasn't all heavy edgy music, but there was a lot of it on there. And so thanks for being on the show first, and then second, the question I've been waiting to ask you, and that's why I'm so excited, is how the hell did you get a show that plays metal music, heavy ass music
On a kids
on YTV?
On a kids network.
Okay, so let me ask you guys a technical question, because we're doing this for 2 hours, so I don't mind asking at the beginning of this, because I can see myself on my iPad, and I look like I'm framed, but I also see a frame in the middle that's all my wife's craft stuff, which is not very metal. So what is it that you're seeing? Are you seeing me, or are you seeing the craft stuff?
I'm seeing some craft stuff, but let's move you over.
So do I have to move?
I'll move you over. No, don't. I'll move you.
Don't move?
There we go.
Me?
Do you want me to move the craft stuff out of the way?
There we go.
I mean, crafting is metal. I mean,
Can be.
Oh, yeah.
Depending on what you're making, yeah.
Yeah,
Dude, I think all metal has to do crafting, because we all put the patches and the studs and everything on our jackets. Like, that's crafting.
Well, the leather braces that Wally's got on were made by somebody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See, that's
so.
crafting.
Listen, yeah, I'll give you the Chart Attack sort of origin. Number one, the fact that you reached out and asked me to do this, I was totally stoked to do it, because, I mean, we're a pretty niche show that was only on for 2 years.
Right.
So the fact that it affected as many people as it did, myself included, is, for me, a testament, I think, to the music. But how I came to the gig was, I had just moved to Toronto in '99, and I was doing mornings at a radio station called Q104 in Halifax, which was a classic rock station.
Okay.
And I ended up getting this job in Toronto, working a top 40 radio station at KISS 92.5.
Yep.
And a dude that was living with my family and I, his name was Jeff Semple, and he was a TV producer, and he produced me when I was on breakfast television. We became buddies. And when I moved to Toronto, he moved here to work for YTV to do like project material, like work on this project, work on the next project. So he came home one night and he said, dude, they're shooting this auditions right now for this video show. And the auditions are over tomorrow, but I think I can get you penciled in.
Okay.
So I go the next day at like noon, and I go to the people at the studio, and I'm like, hey, my name's Jay, I'm here to audition for Chart Attack. And they're like, never heard of you. I have no idea. Get out
of here, kid.
And I was like, oh, okay, well, my buddy's Jeff Semple. He works in blah, blah, blah. And they're like, I don't know, kind of rings a bell. Why don't you just sign in, and we're at lunch anyways. We'll come back and we'll do it. So I hang out in the hallway for like half an hour, and I come back, and I'm literally the very last guy to audition for this show.
Mm-hmm.
So they go in, and it's just this empty studio, and they're just kind of like, why don't you just riff and throw to a video for us if you want to. And the video that I had seen most recently was Limp Bizkit.
Oh.
And I can't remember the video, but Durst is inside the toilet bowl. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Right. So I just start doing this. I'm just sort of riffing and blah blah blah. And I'm having a good time and I'm having fun. And it all ended. And it got really quiet. And then I just heard them go, "Okay, cool, man. Thank you." And then I just left. And like a week later, they were like, "We were done. Like we had already had our short list, and you came in and you were the last guy to audition. And as soon as we saw you, we knew it was you." And they gave me the gig.
Wow.
Dude, it's
Yeah,
meant
it was
to be.
That's
It
wild.
was so cool. Yeah, it was so cool. Yeah, it was very cool. And then once the genesis of the show is interesting because I didn't create it. I was just brought in. in to host it. So I just auditioned.
Okay.
So the people that put it together had envisioned the show much like the name Chart Attack. It was going to be the best stuff from the charts.
Sure.
Which is why when the show started, you saw we played Moby, we played Baha Men, we played Matchbox 20.
Pink.
Well, we sprinkled in some hard rock stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then it became pretty evident that sort of the stuff that I was into was that, so I was kind of pushing towards that kind of genre. And the people behind the scenes that were producing it as well were like, maybe that's our niche. Maybe it'll be hard rock. And then it was like, if we're gonna go hard rock, let's go really hard rock. Let's play Cradle of Filth. Let's play
Yes.
Let's play some Norwegian death metal. Like, let's
Fuck
freak
yeah.
some people the fuck out. Like, let's do that. Let's have a really good time. So we did, and it just blew up because it was the only show really of its kind on network television.
Seriously.
Because Much Loud hadn't come out yet. So we were in that sweet spot. Literally, the 2 seasons we were on predated Much Loud starting in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I'm stoked to hear, Jay, that you were influential in the direction the show went. You were influential in the music choices. So was it hard to convince the rest of the people making the show to move in that direction, or no?
No,
Really?
No, and you know what? I mean, I wouldn't even say instrumental. I would just say I was just part of the team that put that music sort of genre together. That was enthusiastic about that type of music. Like with the first, it's interesting too, dude, because I think what also helped to shape it was the first sets of interviews that we got weren't the pop stars. Like one of the first interviews I did though was with Pink.
Okay.
I remember that being a cool video, and I remember her being wicked, and she's a hard rock fan.
She's
So
so
we can talk
cool.
about that. Yeah, she was super cool. And then the first hard rock video interview that we did was, it was at a tattoo place on Queen Street in downtown Toronto, and it was with Crazy Town. Right? Right?
Come, my lady.
Butterfly
come,
they
my
had.
lady.
Was it?
Come.
Come, my lady, come, my lady, that one. So we did that, and then after that, it was like Newfound Glory. And then I interviewed there was like all of those Canadian sort of harder rock bands, and then Gob came to town, and we ended up striking up a friendship. So it sort of influenced the show because those were the bands that were coming through town.
Right.
Those were the interviews that we're doing, and we get to pump out a show every week, right? So if that's the band you get that week, that's the interview that you do, and then the bands that you start to play around that surround it. I think it was the beginning of season 2, Sum 41 blew up, so we had the opportunity to do shows with them and stuff like that. And like I said, with the Gob thing, we did a special with them in Whistler, or I forget where it was, one of the big mountains of Vancouver. And then we did another special with them at Edgefest. So that sort of influenced the show as well.
Wow. That's just, I remember the Edgefest episode because I stumbled across it by accident. And I remember that was what got me, being out west here, Toronto just seems like a whole nother planet. And when I see Edgefest, that was such a crazy festival that I always wanted to go to as a kid. And there was always much would be live at Edgefest, and then
the lineup for Edgefest was always really
sick,
good,
always
really
ridiculous. And seeing something on YTV covering Edgefest, I was kind of like, it was funny. So in Calgary, channel 20 was YTV, and 21 was Much Music. So I'd always flip to 20 or 21. Right. So I thought I was on Much Music, and then a YTV commercial came up, and I'm like, what the hell is this? Yeah, seriously. And I was like, what?
Game show or whatever. PJ
that's
Phil,
what.
And you're like, oh, this.
Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, DJ Phil.
Phil, yeah.
And the Edgefest,
PJ
the
Phil.
Edgefest that you guys would have seen was a really interesting Edgefest because we shot a special with Gob. So we show up, we meet with Gob in the morning, we're backstage the whole day. we're going around. We talked to a couple other bands. I think we got Static X that day. And it was literally like bands were just backstage. And my producer, she was just like, "Oh my God, we're gonna talk to this band. Oh my God, we're gonna talk to that band." I'm like, "I don't even know who they are." He says, "Doesn't matter.
Just talk to them."
Like, you don't have to know them today. We'll talk to them in 6 months, right? Because all these bands were new.
Right.
But at the same time, and I was talking to you guys about this before the show. At the same time, my brother, who works at X92.9 in Calgary, Mark Michaels, who does Marking Millions, he was in Toronto staying with me. And I was shooting the special at Edgefest, so I said, "Listen, dude, if I get you Edgefest tickets, will you take Ashton? Ashton's my son." And at the time, he was, I guess he would have been 12 or 13. So I'm backstage shooting stuff in the artist compound, and my brother's out front with my kid, and he's taking him to his first Edgefest. So this is like this moment that he gets to have. And the headliner that year was Tool. Okay.
Right, yes.
And so backstage, because of where it was kind of like a motel sort of setup. So they had all these rooms. They all faced into a middle courtyard. So everybody's doing their set. I go on stage for the gob stuff. I'm watching from up top. Everything's going. But we get about 10 minutes before Tool's going to come on. So we're backstage in the artist area, and it's like dusk, right? And then the Tool guys had come backstage. They went into their dressing rooms. The doors shut. Nobody saw them. Everybody else is partying, having beers, and like pumping fists, and how's it going? Have a great day, blah blah blah. Because everybody kind of knows each other. Mm-hmm. And then the door opens to the tool shed. So Maynard rolls out with the boys, and the whole place goes silent. Like you could hear a pin drop. And they do the stage walk past everybody that's a who's who in Canadian hard rock and metal, and every band that's like from the States that's coming up is there as well. Everybody's backstage. Nobody said a word. And then they got on stage, and like literally everybody was just like, they just had such an incredible presence. And that was the year that Maynard did the entire set with his back to the crowd.
Quotes.
Oh yeah.
And my son still talks about it today when my brother's in town, because it was his first mosh. His first ever pit was Tool at Edgefest with my brother. So like that's one of those things like that. As a dad, as a guy doing this gig on Chart Attack, for me, it's just like a memory like that. You can never, it's tough to equal something like that when it happens.
Of course.
Yeah, no doubt. Wow.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Jay, you're a huge Tool fan, aren't you?
My brother's more of a massive Tool fan than I am.
Jason.
See, I was purposely giving my mouth shut.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
Like, you're not talking to me.
Sorry. Jason also goes by Jay. I gotta not do that. I'm the one who messed it up. Anyway, Jason, you're a huge Tool.
Yeah, I really dig Tool. I dig almost anything Maynard touches. His new band Pussifer is probably my favorite thing.
You seen him live?
Not Pussy. Oh yeah, sorry, twice. I've seen him live twice.
Yeah.
And they've done the 2 live videos over the pandemic here.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, pretty much anything that guy touches. But Danny Carey's an amazing drummer. Adam Jones is a fantastic guitarist. Adam and then Chancer. What's the bass player's name? I forget his name.
Never.
I mean, they're all awesome musicians, and everything they've done
technically very proficient, which is one of those bands in that sort of niche.
Have you seen Tool live?
Twice as well.
Twice? Yeah. I saw Tool live when I was 15. I didn't know who Tool was.
What? How did you not know who Tool was?
Dude, I was 15, and my buddy's like, "Hey, there's a concert happening. You want to come?" I'm like, "Okay, who is it?" He's like, "Tool." I'm like, "Cool. Okay."
Dig the name. Let's do it.
And then just like that made me a Tool fan. Within the first 2 minutes, I'm like, "Okay, this is life-changing." I couldn't imagine my first mosh at 12, 13 years old at a Tool concert, like at Edgefest. Tool, my god, that's so cool. That's so cool for your son and your brother too to experience that. Oh, the perks of radio, guys, eh?
Yeah, no doubt.
For being the son of a radio guy.
Yeah, we're brother.
So I was able to find online, Jay, Maddog, I was able to find online some promos from Chart Attack. The only thing about this is, I will mention, is that we didn't get it doesn't actually show you really that much on here, but we do have some promos just to hit some people's nostalgia bones, I guess I should say.
Reminisce a little bit.
Yeah.
Go for it.
There you are. Did you miss it? blink and you'll miss it. Yeah. So there you are. Can we go back? Go again. See if you can miss it. See if you can see it again.
There it was.
Yeah, if I'm third rail and I'm your clothing sponsor, that's what I want to see, a split second in a promo.
Yeah. Less than a split.
There you go.
Right? That was the first season.
Second.
I have to say, YTV had the best promos.
Absolutely.
Like even as
It
an
was just
adult,
weird shit. Like,
it's
what
the weirdest. But it worked.
Well,
Yeah.
keep it weird. That was the slogan, right?
Yeah.
Keep it weird all the time, right?
Especially if you're 14 or 15 and it's 11 o'clock on a Friday night with your buddies. You're going to like the weird stuff, right? Because you're primed for it.
Yeah, and then how else do you sell a show like that to kids, right? Or I guess not kids. Well, it must have been like all ages of people watching that show. But anyway,
Probably mostly kids.
well, mostly kids, yeah.
But I was a kid. Yeah.
But
I was like 10.
but I watched it.
Well, yeah,
Says
so
Vito.
this was I was definitely not a kid.
But
by
I
the time was
stumbled
there.
across. That's the thing. Is like back then you didn't have the internet.
Right.
Well, you had the internet.
Vito, can you get a little closer to your
Oh,
mic?
sorry, you didn't have the internet.
That's
well,
better. You do, Jeff.
You had the internet, but it wasn't like you could just watch YouTube videos. You had to
Right.
go through the TV late at night. What are you doing? You're just
Yeah.
flipping through channels, right? So that's how I found out about it.
That's sort of the thing that's missing now too, right? Because you talk about YouTube. We all watch videos on YouTube, but when there was a specific location, a target that you would watch like weekly, like for me growing up, it was Much Loud on Much Music,
Yeah.
and my buddies and I we'd tape it on the VCR, and then we'd string them together until you had six hours or 12 hours of nothing but metal videos.
Yeah.
That's when you first start. You got like AC/DC's Jailbreak with Bon Scott. You got the early Twisted Sister. You got Maiden. You got Merciful Fate. You got Diamond Head. You got all that Nuobum type stuff, and then it morphed into Def Leppard, and that was the shit that like you could really go out and look for like that niche like metal because it was the time of like the pop metal, the hair metal. And then the stuff before that was
Right.
like the dark metal from like the Maiden and stuff like that. Even the early Metallica, and then became Megadeth and stuff like that. Like all of those genres morphed together, but that was your bonding stuff, right? Because you all watched Much Loud, and that's kind of what Chart Attack was as well. And then Much Loud came after that, and then Much Loud sort of became like, I think Much Loud still exists. It's like up in the upper. I don't know.
Well,
what
no,
it is.
it's actually Stingray bought
Stingray
Loud, so they
Yeah.
have it's a dedicated
Yeah.
channel now.
Yeah.
which
but
is pretty
it's-
good too.
Oh yeah.
It's borderline loud. It's more like much slightly elevated volume, not as opposed to being loud.
Some decent stuff on it.
Yeah,
Much medium.
Except that they do a metal show 10 p.m. or Mountain Time till midnight or something like that. It is metal, but otherwise it's pretty fluffy.
All right, one more promo I'm going to pull up here, and let's see if there's anything we can glean from this.
I'm not even in this one. I guarantee it.
Yeah, I don't think you are.
Oh, that's the end.
Let's watch it anyways.
Yeah, it's just because I can't. There we go.
You want the.
Nelly.
There's
Nelly.
Nelly, some Limp Bizkit and
Fuel.
Papa Roach.
Fuel, Papa Roach.
Fuel, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the thing with those two is they would have shot those. We didn't even have an episode in the can yet when they shot that one. So there was nothing to, that's the reason I'm not in it, because there's nothing to show because we hadn't shot yet. This was the promo to promo the very first episode.
Oh.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Again, the bot on it.
Not pink.
Dang.
Oh yeah, okay. And I actually wanted to make a list here.
Chart Attack, Fridays at 10.
10, but then it was
I think
11.
season 2 was at 11.
Right. Yeah, then it dropped to 11. It went to 11. And that's actually when I think I started watching, is when I really started watching was when...
I think we frightened some parents, so that's why they made it.
Well, the thing that's nice about it being at 10, us people out west, it would be at 8.
Right.
Right?
That's right.
Or 9, yeah.
Oh, 9 for you.
Yeah,
you're
for me.
Saskatchewan.
Yeah, exactly.
Central Time Zone. What is that?
So, yeah, I am... And then rock bands, so we saw rock bands, like we saw Our Lady Peace, which I also like Our Lady Peace. I'm a fan of them. I saw them live in concert. They're a phenomenal live band. Punk bands, Gob, Sum 41, Blink-182, Green Day. We saw Eminem, Pink there. But then the metal bands, that I was talking to my brother about this, and you influenced him as well. He likes all kinds of music, but you got him into metal a little bit as well. He remembers seeing Slipknot on your show. And that was highly influential for him. Finally, as adults, a few years back now, we went together to a Slipknot concert for the first time. Both of us went, so that was pretty exciting. Korn, I think you might have Korn on there.
Yeah, we did. sure we did a couple porn videos. We probably did Freak on a Leash and stuff. It's funny too because a lot of the stuff now, you look at it now and you think to yourself, this almost seems tame. It doesn't seem as hardcore as it did back in the day. But at the time, like when you're playing Static X with the contacts and like the it disturbed a lot of people. And when you're playing Cradle of Filth and stuff like that, like when you talk about a YTV network playing something like that at 11 o'clock at night, you had to wonder how many of the upper brass actually had any idea that show even existed.
That was the first time I even heard of Cradle of Filth, because I said your show got me interested in metal, but there wasn't as much accessibility. I started buying some metal magazines. I started kind of getting more interested in metal that way, but it wasn't. We didn't have the internet. Wasn't what it was. It isn't what it is now. You mentioned Disturbed. You said Disturbed in your last sentence or two. Disturbed was definitely on your show. System of a Down, you played on there, and you had actually a really good story, Jay, about interviewing them, right? System of a Down.
Yeah, I actually sang in the video. I don't know if you guys have it or not, but it's so funny because I have, I'm terrible at keeping my own stuff. I've got boxes of tapes and boxes of videotapes and stuff like that, but I've never really converted them. So what's online is not a ton of stuff. But one of the things that I did find was talking to the dudes from Surge and the guitar player from System of a Down. And what I remember about interviewing those guys was because they were so political and because they were so literate, I just remember being really intimidated. And normally you don't have to be too intimidated because you can just vibe with the band. If you spend 5 minutes with them before the interview starts and you're just setting up mic levels and stuff like that, and you just mention something about a record or something about an interview that you saw or something that immediately tells the band that you know who they are, that you know them a little bit. Like if you know the drummer's name, like that goes, the bass player's like, oh, he knows my name. So
definitely.
I remember I actually said that to Serge at the beginning. I said, I'm a little bit intimidated talking to you guys. And he was really cool about saying, hey man, we're just people having a conversation. We're just three guys and we're just happy to be in Toronto playing our music. And I remember he just chilled me right out. And I always tried to sort of take that attitude into interviews moving forward and just realizing that it wasn't really about me so much as getting the best out of an interview that I could for the people that watch the show. So that was one of those sort of TSN turning points too.
Yeah, you actually sent me an email saying System of a Down, but there's no link in it. Was there supposed to be a link there of that interview? Did you have a video?
Oh, I didn't send it?
It's all good.
That's okay. I did a lot of digging. Other bands on there, Linkin Park. You mentioned Static X. I'm wearing a Static X shirt tonight. Papa Roach we just saw on there. Limp Bizkit. Finger 11 when they were still heavy, before they became a pop rock band. Do you remember when Finger 11 was actually a metal band?
Do you remember when Finger 11 wasn't even Finger 11 yet?
Oh yeah, what was it?
Rainbow Butt Monkeys.
Rainbow Butt Monkeys.
Yeah, dude, I totally forgot.
I love that album. I still listen to that album all the time. It's super good.
Yeah, I think they changed to Finger 11 because, oddly enough, American radio didn't think that was a super good name for a band.
Well, I don't think. I would probably agree with that. It really wasn't a very good name for a band.
I always speculated as a kid, what is the 11th finger? Is it the penis?
Yeah, dude, come on now.
Is it
like,
really?
Yeah, just
I
like
thought I was being immature about it.
No,
just like Third Eye Blind, same thing.
Okay, all right. It's all dick jokes. It's all dick jokes.
Limp Bizkit.
How's Third Eye Blind a dick joke?
You One Eye Monster.
Oh, the One Eye Monster. You guys are teaching me.
And it's blind.
And it's blind. Does that mean you have no standards? Is that what it means?
Maybe.
Third eye blind, maybe?
Yeah, they can't see what it's going into. So.
How far before we get to chocolate starfish and the hot dog flavored water?
There you go.
There we go.
Well, that one's actually not about anything lewd, I don't think. I think that's a reference
Probably
to...
somewhere.
Well, it's a reference to
chocolate-
themselves, though, isn't it? Like Fred Durst is an asshole.
Okay.
And then the band is the hot dog flavored water, right? He was the kind of so and so in the whatevers is a band name.
Oh,
I think they were making fun of
What do you
themselves
guys
with that.
think of the return of Limp Bizkit and sort of dad vibe Fred?
we should pull that up. Yeah,
I didn't see that.
Oh,
you
he's
didn't see that?
he's got a new look. We should definitely pull that
Well, I
up.
think that was
Is
just
he
for the
bald?
video. That was just for-
No.
Is
He's
he
got
still
a bunch
the
of.
hat on?
It's a live show at Lollapalooza.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna pull this
They
up.
headlined, I think, Friday night or Saturday night. And it's just like the opening is great because Wes is playing like a Ministry riff off the top, and he looks like a dominatrix.
Oh yeah, of
Great.
course.
It's really good, and they are on point musically.
Dude, Wes
Really,
Borland
really well.
was a
we
guitar
go.
player. Didn't get as much respect as he should have.
He's crazy.
He's
guitar
actually
player.
good.
Yeah.
He's really good.
There
No
it is on
way.
the left there. Yeah.
No, it's not.
He was just dressed up for the because he was totally just dressed up for that.
Oh yeah.
But they've been back playing live for a little while now because Wally and I just saw them in Heavy Montreal.
Yep.
Was that 2018? They headlined there. So
they didn't really go away. They've kind of been like doing festivals and stuff like that. But I think that the Lollapalooza gig was sort of like a big return for them.
Yeah,
when they started
definitely.
playing, but they just went back off the road because of COVID for a while. But they'll end up being back out. But but they sound great. They sound so good.
Interesting.
This is so much fun. I can just talk about bands with Jay Maddog all night. I could just be the whole show.
Right?
Yeah. The Cradle of Filth thing I want to talk about a little bit because I didn't know who Cradle of Filth was. I didn't even know that kind of metal existed at that point. It was such a. I think I was on that. Yeah.
I didn't either. I had no idea.
I wasn't a black. I didn't know what black metal at all. Yeah.
I think I came in and they just like played me the video and I was just like, this is too weird not to play. Like we have to.
Yeah. And who else would play it? Seriously, nobody would have played it.
I forget what track that was. Go ahead.
The way the show worked every week too was I would get a list on Thursdays or Wednesdays, I think Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, of the videos we were going to play, and then I'd have to write a script. And then I'd send it in and they'd review it, and then we'd go in and we'd shoot it. And we shot straight to tape. So if you screw up, you have to stop and you have to go back to the very beginning at the end of the video and you have to start again. So my goal every week was to get in and get out as fast as humanly possible. If we shot an hour-long show, I wanted to take an hour and 15 minutes because then you were a hero to the crew and you were sort of riding that energy. And I think it was Thursdays, so it was right before my last show, before Fridays and the weekend, so I was always super stoked for that. But what I remember about the scripts was my producer would say to me when I came in to do the show, she'd come in and she'd be like, you have to write more than ad-lib. Like, you have to get an idea. And I was like, well, you know what? I honestly don't know what I'm going to say with this one until the video ends. And then we would just sort of riff. And some of the best stuff, the throws to video, and just the goofy shit that we would do was sort of off the cuff. And it would come from, joking around with the control room or talking in makeup. Or, we did a show with my kid once where he played Mini-Me, and then we did him in the same makeup. Like, we did a show where I wore a bunny suit one season.
Right.
And I wore the bunny suit home. I drove home in my car in it, like the full makeup and the bunny suit.
How hot was that?
So I could wave to people. Yeah, so it was like, that was a great thing about being a YTV. It was they would encourage like having a good time. Like we didn't take ourselves too seriously. I've never taken myself too seriously. So that was kind of a fun place to do it. And that was the thing I found out about a lot of these bands. Like the more serious they appeared on camera, the more goofy they were behind the scenes because they were just playing into the type. Like they weren't playing a role or acting so much as they were like adopting a character for a performance. But they could be just as normal and just as much fun as anybody.
Right. I've been asked in the chat what Cradle of Filth song was it, and I actually can't recall. It's the one with the female operatic singing. It would have been early 2000s. I can't remember which track it is.
It's the one if you go to Spotify. It's got the most spins. I guarantee it.
Oh, okay. There we go.
I guarantee it. Have you guys seen that Norwegian death metal movie? Because there was the book, and then the movie.
I know what you're talking about, and I was told to watch it.
Down the church.
Yeah. I've seen clips of it. I've watched bits and pieces here and there, but I haven't watched the whole thing.
I think one of the Culkins is actually in that movie. It's either from the Cradle to Enslave or her ghost. I think it's her Ghost in the Fog.
That could be it. Hold on, let me pull this up.
Hey, random question while he's pulling that up.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. It could have been on Chart Attack or just on the YTV had their own chart too, like the countdown show. Mm-hmm. There was a band, the Hit List. Yeah, there was a band out of Toronto. They were all like young kids. They were like 15, 16. They were like a rock band called Serial Joe.
Oh, I remember them. Yep.
Did you ever play them?
I think we did.
I think you might have.
Yeah.
I think that's how I found out about them. Then I asked for that CD for my birthday when I was a kid.
Serial Joe were young.
Like 15. 16. Yeah. It was insane how young they were. That would be so cool to be 15, 16, get a record deal and tour like all of Canada.
Right.
Where are they now, though?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Who
knows?
Standing at a bar saying, I used to be in Serial Joe.
Serial what?
Do you know who I am?
I forgot that band even existed, honestly, until you just brought it up.
Yeah, me too.
Emergency alert.
There's a lot of bands.
We have
COVID.
Emergency alert. Oh, okay.
COVID.
We're getting
State of
COVID.
public emergency.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Public service announcement.
You guys are getting like an
Yeah,
Amber Alert.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, all the emergency alert system just triggered.
What do they do? What do they do in Alberta? They just tell you where to come get it.
No, they'll mail it to us. They'll
mail it.
Come on down. Let's see everyone COVID.
Oh my God! Come down to Ranchmans.
Seriously.
Back alley was supposed to open again.
Oh yeah, I know it was supposed to open. Yeah, that they played metal and stuff, but
Find the video?
I did find the video. I'm not gonna actually play it because I'll get my video get taken down.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was
Damn
the video.
copyright
right?
owners.
Yeah, I'm not sure. So it depends on the song. Some stuff there's a lot of stuff I can play, and it's just I get demonetized, which I don't care about getting monetized. But yeah, I just don't want the video to get like completely taken down. So it was that song though, definitely. That was you hit the nail on the head there, Jay. Because I kind of scrolled through it. It's definitely the right track. Okay, so I think you already answered this question, but kind of answered it. But what are you listening to these days? What are you listening to these days? Are you still into heavy music?
Yeah, absolutely. When I worked at Q104 in Halifax, when I came to work in Toronto, and we were playing hip hop and top 40 and stuff like that. Like I come from, my dad's a drummer. My dad's very musically inclined, and I grew up listening to classic rock, like him. I remember like one day being in our car and I was listening to the AM station and he said, "I'm gonna blow your mind," and he pressed the FM button. And it was K97 in Edmonton, and I heard like Boston for the first time. Whoa! Porter, Led Zeppelin, and April Wine, and all those bands. So I've kind of grown up on a staple of classic rock. But I came up like my like early teen years were like I said, the early metal. Like I just finished reading Confess, the Rob Halford book. I just finished reading that.
Ooh.
Great, it's really cool. So yeah, Judas Priest. All my buddies were into metal, right? We were all into metal. I've always been more of a melodic guy, so I leaned more towards the Def Leppard type stuff than I did the Iron Maiden and stuff like that. So I always really enjoyed that. So now when I listen to hard rock, I mean, I don't know. I'm actually kind of looking at my library, so I can kind of pull up the artists that I've listened to. But I still listen to Van Halen, still listen to Metallica, a lot of Def Leppard. I got into a ska phase for a long time, so it was like Real Big Fish, bands like that.
Yeah.
Cage the Elephant, Arctic Monkeys. I love Clutch. Clutch is a great band.
Oh, Clutch, yes.
And the one that gets the most reaction, and we can discuss and feel free because I've heard it all, is I am a hardcore Nickelback fan.
Actually?
Ooh.
Big time.
Hold on.
Love Nickelback.
Hold on, we're pulling this up.
I like early Nickelback. When they were first getting started, I liked them, but I don't really listen to them too much anymore.
Have you seen them live?
Kate, I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
I was just about to say that. I've seen them about 3 times live, and their show is one of the top.
Phenomenal.
Like, come on.
There it is.
Like, to be
There you
completely honest.
are. With Nickelback, I saw that. I'm like, I got to pull this up at some time during the show because we're in Alberta. They're shooting this out of Calgary, Alberta, and there's so much kind of Nickelback hate here.
But
Sure.
They're from Alberta, so.
They're from Hannah.
Yeah.
But the thing that
Hannah.
people don't realize is that Chad Kroeger is probably one of the best songwriters of our generation.
Wow.
He doesn't just write for himself. He's written he's written some country songs, some big country. That's how he makes his money right now. Mm-hmm. He's written like Steel Panther songs. He's written,
really?
Yeah.
What?
Dude, there's like a whole like article I read. There's like 20 songs that Chad Kroeger wrote that you would never know he wrote because.
I did
You
not
got to
know
send me
that.
that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
There's a band that you can sit down and have some beers and listen to. Steel Panther.
Right? Absolutely.
Come on.
Yeah, there was a whole article I read. There was like a whole bunch of songs that he wrote, and he's a wicked songwriter. He figured out the formula, and he applied it, and
You can't argue with how successful his songs have been.
Exactly. They're all hits. Everything he writes
I've
is hits.
interviewed them a few times, but the last time I did it was for Feed the Machine. And it's when that picture was taken. And I remember they came in and we're shooting the shit. And I said to Chad, you just had throat surgery. How'd it go? And he goes, well, he's like, it's got positives and it's got negatives. He's like, my voice is back. It's better than it's ever been. He's like, but the downside is that I sound like that fucking asshole from Nickelback.
The surgery didn't change that.
Oh my god, that's so
You're
funny.
talking about a guy that's got a sense of humor about himself, right? Like he gets it.
Yeah, of
Nickelback's,
course.
Right.
like they're in on the joke. Like you can make all the fun that you want. Like I'll just go to sleep on my bed made of money. You guys can make all the fun that you
well,
want.
no shit. If I was them, I wouldn't give a shit how much people hated me. Like,
Yeah,
but you know,
cares?
my own
So
kid
successful.
used to give me grief about Nickelback, and then I took him to a show, and he was like converted.
Wow.
It was the Feed the
for
Machine
sure.
show, and it was just phenomenal. It's just like and like live at Sturgis. If you don't like if you've never listened to a Nickelback live show, that's your starter. I watched that last weekend. Like I go to that all the time. So yeah, so I still listen to a ton of hard rock. But you know what? For me, there's only two kinds, good and bad. Like I don't much like a metal fan's not going to shit on another metal fan for the genre that they listen to. I'm not going to shit on someone that listens to top 40. If that's what you want to listen to, great, because there's some well crafted all genres of music.
really, metal fans don't shit on other metal fans? That's not hard enough.
If you're in the wrong genre, you can get shit on.
Yeah, I'm
absolutely.
definitely not that kind of metalhead. I actually have one Nickelback song that I genuinely like, and I still like it to this day, believe it or not. Even
Can I
though
guess
I'm
what
not,
it is?
Sure.
It's Photograph.
No. No. No, definitely not
A
that.
Side of a Bullet?
Nope.
Is it
Okay.
old Nickelback or newer Nickelback?
Middle Nickelback. I guess?
Middle Nickelback.
Middle Nickelback. It's a lesser
Yeah.
no. It's not one of their singles you would hear on the radio.
Okay.
It's from an album. Yeah.
Play it.
Play it? Well, I can tell you what it is. If I play it,
Okay.
the Nickelback's probably going to take my video down. Even though they're your friends, they're probably going to take my video
Yeah,
down.
they're weird that way about
No,
copyright.
it's not them. It's a record company, right? They a lot of these artists. When I get claims and stuff, I tried reaching out at one point in time, and it's not the artists.
No, they don't own it.
It's never the artist. It's always the label. It's always who they're going through. It's not the artists. They want the publicity. I don't think they really give a shit if the wicked Wally Webcast plays. Just being
Right?
honest, if
Yeah, you're right.
plays their song.
The label.
Well, it is the greatest hard rock heavy metal show on the planet.
It is.
Soon to be.
Soon to be.
Soon to be. I always say soon to be because I'm not that full of myself. But hopefully that you have to have aspirations, right? I'm going platinum. Anyway, because of you.
Okay.
I know it.
Yeah, it's a good tune.
Yeah, it's just got a really heavy riff. I just really like it's got a very heavy, chunky guitar. It's got a really heavy riff. I just like the riff in it. And anytime I hear it, my brother likes Nickelback, the one I talked about earlier, the one who also was inspired to like heavy music from your show, and amongst other things. He's a Nickelback fan, and that song, I'm like, this is a good song, and I caught myself listening to it on multiple occasions. So, and I mean, they know how to write hits, right?
Yeah.
They do.
They know how to write hits. Chad knows how to write hit music, and they're doing really well.
It's funny when people say, they figured out the formula. Do you know people would give their eye teeth to figure out the formula? Like we say,
Everybody.
like, well, they figured out how to write a hit. People would kill a family member to be able to write a hit.
People
to be able
spend
to
their
write
whole-
How You Remind Me, just to write one hit.
Right,
A lot of
right.
artists would kill for it.
People spend their whole life trying to figure it out, and they never do.
Yeah.
It's just the reality. He figured it out. Some other bands did too, but it's the 1%, right?
Right.
Default. That's who I was trying to remember.
Oh, Default. I remember
Right
Default.
around wasting my time.
Yeah, another Yarling band.
Again. Whoa, again.
There was a time where I felt like I interviewed Default every 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And they were great guys. It was just like that's sort of the circuit that everybody's in, because everybody's coming through
Right.
Toronto at one point, right? So
Of course.
you get everybody at one point.
Default played a bunch of smaller shows in Saskatchewan a bunch too. Like I think they kind of like they their popularity kind of waned, but they continued to perform and play and again and again and again. So they didn't stop. As far as I know, I don't know if they're playing now, but for the longest time, the Default was still kicking. Okay, great. We have some more comments in the chat. I'm sorry I'm ignoring the chat. We're just having such a great conversation with Jay here. So in the chat, actually, Sherry Smith. I'm gonna pronounce this wrong, but it's your actual last name. Is that your wife in the chat?
Yeah,
So,
probably.
so that was actually That's gonna lead into my next question. Also
She
say.
correcting me on something? Probably she correcting
No,
me.
she's just saying hi, guys. She's just saying hi, guys. And Eric in the chat saying great to see you guys. So that's also in the chat. So more people chatting. So the next question I had for you, and again, this is one of those simple questions I had from when I was really young. And Maddog, where did Maddog come from? And then also I realized more recently the last name is different. Your last name is not actually Michaels, right?
No, No, it's not. In sort of true radio fashion, a lot of guys end up making up their names, right?
Yeah.
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
Who does that?
I know.
Who does that?
I have no idea what you're talking
My
about.
God, your name being Wicked. I mean, how did your parents ever come up with that one? That's
Actually, Wally's not my first name.
Oh, is it your middle name or it's not your name at all?
It is my middle name. Yeah.
Okay. Walter.
Secrets.
Yeah, correct.
Whoa, a little peek behind the scenes there.
Correct. Yeah.
Your mother used that when she's pissed at you. She says, Walter.
Yes.
Yeah, and there. So yeah,
It was Wally. She called me Wally when I wouldn't listen. Go ahead.
It's really pretty simple for me. When I was in Halifax, my name was McNeil, and McNeil is kind of an East Coast sounding name. So I got the call to fly to Toronto to interview for this job at Kiss 92.5. And I was in like the airport limo coming from Pearson to Toronto for my interview. And I was listening to the radio station, and Tarzan Dam was on.
Right.
Yeah, I know that name.
And he was doing afternoon drive, and I thought, well, if I'm doing mornings and Tarzan Dan is on in the afternoon, I gotta have a funky name to do the morning show. And I'm like, Maddog. How about Maddog? I think I'll use Maddog.
Right.
Just like that, eh? That's simple.
Literally, it was just like it just came to me. And then I used Michael's because when I was working in Halifax, there was a guy that I worked for who was a dick. He was a real dick. And he just wasn't a nice guy. And so when I left, I took his name. Because whenever he would read about me, I would want him to know that I took his name. Because I didn't think he treated me very well, and he didn't treat the rest of the staff well. And I wanted him to know that we thought that of him. So I took Michael's from him.
Wow.
So I kind of stole it. So that whenever anybody would say to him, "Oh, you're that Michaels, just like Jay Michaels," he'd be like,
yes.
I know,
Absolutely.
it's kind of petty, but I did it.
That's justified.
So Mad Dog Michaels, that's where that came from.
Excellent. In the chat, Eric's saying, Wally Dama, now I know, because I've never said that before on the air or on the show, that that Wally isn't, it's the first time I let it out, but it's because we're talking to
You saved it for the finale, Wally. We had
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right.
We
That's
get
right.
it.
Yeah.
Now, what's my actual name? Well, I mean, if you watch every episode of the webcast,
you might find a clue somewhere.
back to back, and the episodes that Jason's been in. Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe
it's Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Maybe it's Johnny. Sometimes it's Jenny.
Just watch all the episodes with Jason.
Dave.
Jason's known me the longest here, so I'm sure he's called me by the wrong name a couple times on the show.
I think Montana did
Twice
too.
Did she?
Possibly.
Okay, fair enough. That's okay. Doesn't matter. Anyway, back to Mad Dog. We're having our own side conversation here. We talked about Chart Attack and about your start. So you already mentioned you're originally from Nova Scotia, a little place called New Glasgow.
That's right, New Glasgow.
Right.
Yeah.
But then I saw you went to high school in Edmonton, Alberta, and we're in Calgary right now. I actually might be moving to Edmonton.
Okay.
What happened there? What was the transition to?
So I was born in Nova Scotia, and then when we moved to Alberta in like 1978 or 79. My parents were divorced, but my mom lived in Red Deer, my dad lived in Edmonton, so I would just kind of go back and forth. Mm-hmm. And then when I was like 11 or 12, I left living with my mom to live with my dad, and I lived with my dad until the end of high school.
Right.
And I was in Edmonton. And then in 87, when I graduated high school, my dad said, "Listen, we're moving to Nova Scotia. I can either get you a job at the warehouse I work at, or you can come to Nova Scotia with the family." So I went to Nova Scotia with the family, and I was there for like a year, working at a gas station, doing the overnight shift. And the guy that worked at the gas station next to me used to call the radio station all the time and talk to this girl. Her name was Paula Brecken, and he asked her about where she went to school, and she went to school in Ontario at a place called Loyalist College.
Okay,
so
yeah.
I decided we were going to go to Loyalist College to take radio broadcasting.
All right.
Then,
was it the Rad B program?
I don't know what it was called, but it was like a 2-year radio program.
Right.
And then the week before we were leaving, he told me he was staying because he didn't want to leave his girlfriend.
Whoa.
So I went by myself, and I went to Loyalist. So I went to Loyalist for a couple of years, and then I ended up working in Nova Scotia, working in Alberta, working back in Nova Scotia, and then coming to Ontario, and I've been here ever since.
When you were at Loyalist College, did they have the radio station at the time, CJLX at the time?
Yeah.
They
Yes,
did.
they did.
Oh, excellent. Did you get? Were you on the air for that?
Oh yeah, my very first ever shift was actually on a real radio station. Not that the one in the college wasn't a real radio station, but that was like it only broadcast in house. It doesn't broadcast. It broadcasts outside before, right? So I got on. It was CJTN in Trenton was the first radio station I ever officially worked for.
Okay, very cool, very cool. Yeah, the guys are laughing at me because my only stint in radio was a volunteer gig at our community radio station here, and that's out of the University of Calgary. So that was my
radio.
But it also broadcasts all the way to Banff.
Yeah, that
You know what I
actually did
mean? Like
broadcast.
it's
Yeah.
got a big footprint.
Campus. My show on campus never left the campus. It barely got to the cafeteria.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
fair
most
enough.
campus radios only do maybe a couple kilometers away, right? Whereas we have, what is it, 50,000 watt?
Yeah, tower.
So
yeah,
a little different.
yeah, and it's
It was-
online.
You could play
Extremes.
whatever you wanted.
Yes,
Pretty much.
pretty much. We had CanCon requirements, and we had certain things we had to say, station IDs. But creatively, I was the creative force, and then later my co-host Laws, who joined a bit later, we were the creative forces of our shows. So as long as you could have cursing and swearing in the songs, as long as we were after midnight, so we didn't even have to do any warnings on those shows. The guests I wanted to bring on, I brought on who I wanted to bring on in terms of guests to interview them. It was very much my own creative endeavor, or our own creative endeavor once Laws joined, which is really cool. And yes, I guess
still going.
Thank you for saying it was a real radio station, Vito. I really appreciate it.
No, but honestly,
Of course it
but CGSW is also the biggest campus radio in Canada.
In Canada, yes, that's
right?
true.
So
That's
it's
true.
not just
Yeah, thank you.
you were just a volunteer. You did a lot there. You were
I
on the
know.
board.
You even
too.
let
I
me play an
know, I
entire
was on-
show of
I
all
was on
songs
the-
I wanted
yeah,
to
and
play.
me too.
Right, I brought these guys on back in those days, so nostalgia. This is
There's something fun about being able. I used to do that too at the radio station I worked at in Glasgow. Like the guys would leave the bar, so I did the back shift. The boys would leave the bar and they'd come and hang out in the studio, and I just let them go to the library and pick stuff out. Like if you want to listen to Hush by Deep Purple, fine. If you want to listen to an entire, full side of a Jimi Hendrix live album, we'll do that. And it was just fun to hang out with your buddies.
Oh yeah.
I even brought all my own music on the show you had me on. Like all the MP3s,
you
everything. We did
You did, yeah.
completely whatever I wanted to play. That was really cool.
Yeah, I did that for
Yeah,
you.
likewise.
Yeah. It was I just, and that's when I realized the metal community, and that's when I realized something like this would even be possible. So you don't think that. You think like, I'm just average Joe. I'll talk about it a bit later in the show. This is not all my history. I want to talk about you first, but later in the show, I do want to let you know, Jay, probably near the end. So folks want to stick around for that. What you inspired. So I'm going to show you some of the cool stuff that I got to do way at the end, because this is about, you're the guest, but I wanted to let you know what your show on YTV was a catalyst for, and where
it's
it
awesome.
went. So
Stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned for that. A
Yeah.
little bit of a highlight reel. Not about this show because we're on it right now, but kind of what I did in the radio and stuff a little bit. So anyway, and yeah, I'm a total amateur. This is just something I've wanted to do for a long time. What's next here? Okay, when you went to college, you went to
Loyalist?
Loyalist College, right? Thank you very much. And then from 1999 to 2005, you were the morning host, co-host of Kiss 95 FM and CHFI in Toronto. Your
Yep,
first
Kiss
co.
95.
Yeah, your first co-host. I was interested with that because I recognized the name. I'm like, is that the same guy? Darren Jones was your first
Yeah.
co-host. Do you guys know?
Yeah.
No, who's Darren Jones?
Darren Jones. Okay, I'm gonna pull up a photo. You're gonna probably recognize him because he's known for the prank comedy TV show Buzz. He did MTV Live. I enjoyed both.
Oh,
those shows.
Darren! Yeah,
Darren.
from MTV Live. Yeah. Of course.
There we go.
That was a great show. MTV Live was awesome.
It was great.
It
I
was a
watched it every
great
day when I came
show.
home from school
Oh yeah,
in
okay.
high school. Yeah, of course. What's he up to?
I think
He's on Kiss 92.5. He does the afternoon drive show.
No way.
yeah, he's back on the radio again.
Good for
Yeah.
him.
And I think didn't both of you have a bit of stand-up comedy experience as well?
No, I've done it once, and it was
Oh,
for
that's what it was.
for
Okay.
something for the show. But Darren came into. He's been doing stand up since he was a teenager, and he still does it.
Dan
And
Levy
he's-
was on that show too. On
That's
MTV
right,
Live.
Dan Levy,
Yep.
Schitt's Creek. Yeah,
Yep.
It was him, and then there was a girl as well. But it was very imaginative. It was very for a daily show you're churning out day after day after day. It was pretty imaginative.
Yeah, he was pretty funny too. I like his sense of humor.
Yeah, definitely.
Him and I only did the morning show at KISS for 8 months.
That's
it.
He
decided that he was also going to Ryerson at the same time.
Interesting.
It was burning him out.
Oh yeah, of course.
Matt, do mornings in Toronto and going to university at the same time.
Wow. Holy shit.
That's a lot.
Are you still friends with him? Do you still keep in touch? Or?
Yeah, we still talk, absolutely. Yeah, and my next co-host, Billy, she's still working. She does country. Right. I still talk to her all the time. I talk to everybody, pretty much. It's pretty, for such a big city, it's a pretty small radio community. Like, we all went to the same parties, we all went to the same concerts. Like, a lot of us, like, there's a girl here, Josie Dye, that works at a station called Indie 88. She used to be on The Edge, and she just lives a few blocks from me, and so I see her, socially once in a while. Her husband owns Dine Alone Records.
What?
Nice.
No way.
Fire's label.
Yeah.
Cool.
There's so many people on that label.
Yeah.
My sister would lose it. Yeah.
And he's a very cool guy. So it's like it's a pretty cool little musical community. It's been kind of tough the last couple of years because we're so used to seeing each other at gigs and stuff like that and at social functions to not be able to.
Right. How do you stay in touch? Yeah, especially when you're busy with other things. You mentioned Billie Holiday. I'm like, I know that name. I looked it up. I'm like, oh no, it's not it's not the famous jazz singer Billie Holiday.
No,
that's just her on-air persona. But yeah, very cool. This perfectly segues into your demo reel. I want to pull up your demo reel because we covered some of the stuff you did prior to this demo reel. I think some of it's in here too. I want to pull this up and also just talk about what you've done here. This is highly entertaining. Here we go. Okay. Demo reel. All right. So let's do this. Demo reel. Maddog Michael's demo reel.
I thought you all might begin your tour here.
There's the bunny suit.
The bunny suit.
There it is. There it is.
That's the Gob special when I'm in the tube.
Yeah, I love the hair too. It was so epic.
Oh, dude.
So early, late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, so like new metal.
The soul patch. The soul patch. And the clothes too, like I said, I had to deal with Third Rail. So they would send me boxes and boxes of clothes. It was the coolest stuff at the time.
That's wild.
Okay, let's watch a little more.
That's from Mike Buller. That's from Chart Attack. That's Chart Attack.
Okay, here we go. Here's a clip from
Station
Kiss.
99.9 Virgin Radio.
Virgin Radio.
From Guess Who? Jason Derulo. Do you know how long I've been waiting to get to actually play that for
that's marketing. Like almost every song I've heard of his ever, because I don't really listen. I don't like seek out that music, but you just hear it has his name at the beginning. That's what you.
Yeah.
Jason Derulo. Every single song. What if metal bands started doing that? Like
there was a stand-up comedian that said that about country music, about the same thing, like MCA Records. Thank you very much. But rappers can just get away with that.
Yeah. Jason Derulo. Okay, let's play a little more of this.
Or Jason Derulo. I actually I have read Jason's workout in Details. Magazine, and I just like to say, as far as I've got is I've read it, and I'm exhausted just by reading the actual workout.
That's a start.
You worked out this morning before you even started doing interviews, didn't you?
Yeah, I went to the gym at 3:15.
Oh,
this is horrible. Now,
who gets up at that time?
Were you like this?
I know.
That is horrible. I would not get up that early to work out. No. Are you sleeping? Are you recovering from your workout at all?
I was swimming at 6 a.m. this morning.
Okay, well, that's not bad. That's not 3 a.m. That's not 3 a.m. And we'll talk about. I want to talk about it later, but you stay in shape, Jay. Actually, I notice you keep fit, which is good. I do as well.
I try. I mean, it's a little bit harder. I mean, I think during all this, you either go one of two ways. You're either super fit or you're either super not. I'd say I'm somewhere in the happy medium sort of range.
I was super until I had a child. We had my partner gave birth to a child this year. So thank you very much. Yeah, the lack of sleep makes it hard, but I'm still keeping it up. I'm still exercising.
Yeah, it's tough to be motivated. And so this is great. So your partner and your baby let you do metal in the basement?
In the office, yeah, especially in the main floor of the building.
One step up.
Yeah, he banishes the baby to the basement.
Yeah. No, wait, we're supposed to
going to the studio to do metal now. You need to sleep.
I want to say wife, but we postponed our wedding because of COVID. But she encouraged me to do this. The radio the radio was burning me out. It was just the late nights and everything like that. I was just getting burnt out from it, and I had some health issues I didn't know about, and I found out later and stuff. So I'm like, oh man, maybe I could just do my own thing, and then I have my own schedule and all that shit. So she encouraged this. She encouraged all this. So
She's
yeah,
awesome. Amazing.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jen.
Jen. Shout out to Jen. Jen is in Edmonton right now with our daughter. And I drove back just to be able to do the show tonight with you, Jay.
Oh, that's amazing.
And to get a good night's sleep, but we won't talk about that part.
I was up with Vienna last night, and she woke me up 3 times last night.
Oh.
But then she had like an 11-hour sleep the night before that, so it's just been kind of
Up and down.
That was amazing. Yeah. Anyway, that's my life. Talking about Mad Dog Michaels, I feel like we're just a bunch of friends here. We're just friends hanging out. So we saw that clip. That was from, let's go back to that actually. That's The Breakfast Show on Virgin Radio from 2006 to 2015. Your original co-host was Billy, as you mentioned, Holiday, not the jazz singer. And then... well, actually, I'm missing it here. Who was the co-host that eventually took?
Her name's Maura Grierson. It was Mad Dog and Maura.
Right. Okay. Thanks. So let's watch a bit more of this. And then was this around the time? And I could be getting this wrong. Was this around the time, Mad Dog, when you were the winner of the Now Magazine and Toronto Sun reader polls for best Toronto radio personality? Is that? I think
we were at KISS. I think we were at KISS when that happened. So that was like 2001, 2002. This is more like 2010, 2011. A
little bit later.
Yeah. I think after this as well. I think Psy is on this demo reel. And there's a couple of shows that I did. There's one that if you want to watch it where there's a woman I interact with. And I want to see if you guys can figure out who she is.
Oh, I knew exactly who it was right away, and I'm going to ask my co-host.
I'm excited.
I already watched the demo reel, so I know exactly what you're talking about, Jay. I want to see if my co-hosts know who she is, because I do know who it is, and I already have it written down.
You can fast forward till you get to it. Feel free.
No, let's just watch more of this. I'll stop talking a little bit, maybe, and then we'll watch a little more of this.
Yeah, right. You're not going to do that.
For the accident, or is this the new Jason Derulo?
It's definitely a new Jason Derulo.
Do you have time to make some time for just one of your fans?
Absolutely.
Virgin Radio, what's your name?
Hi, it's Melissa. How are you?
Hi.
I saw you last week on Ellen.
Oh, word up.
So excited.
And I'm actually wondering
up.
if you could do the rest of your interview on Virgin without a shirt on, so we can see pictures. Please. It would make my day, my life.
It's so early. It's cold in here.
It is.
You already said you worked out today, so you should be good to go.
If Steve and I took our shirts off, would that make you feel more comfortable?
No.
Shot. Everybody, Nelly Furtado.
Okay, before we move on, Jay, would you have actually taken your shirt off?
No.
Okay.
No, that dude's ripped. That dude is jacked.
Would have made you look bad. Nelly Furtado. I mean, who here didn't have a little bit of a crush on her a long time?
Dude, I still do.
Yeah.
Portuguese girl, come on.
Yeah, she's beautiful and very talented too, right? And I can have crushes and still be faithful to my.
Just a crush.
Yeah,
just a crush. We're all taken here. Anyway.
How are you?
I'm awesome. How are you? This is fun.
I'm good. You look fantastic. I must say.
So sweet.
You are in such a great place in your life right now.
Aw, that's so sweet. Thank you.
One of the things you said about this this new record is that you feel it's you at your rawest, being very raw.
Yeah.
How do you take that? How does that raw become something that we hear that
hot.
becomes as big as?
You need a minute? Are you okay?
Oh, how do you even compose? How do you even talk in front of her?
That's a question for you, apparently, Mad Dog. How do you even talk in front of her?
You know what's weird about artist interviews? A lot of the time, it's not even hard to talk to the artist. It's that they have 15 people with them, and they're all staring at you through the glass.
Oh, that makes sense.
You have to because there's a publicist doing this. You got to wrap it up. We got to get somewhere else. And you're trying to get a vibe going with someone. So that's sometimes hard. Doing the artist stuff. You walk in with the artist, you're fine.
I've had that actually. When I went to Heavy Montreal, there was a couple of the handlers. I don't know if you want to call them or whatever with the artists. So, yeah. So that was a new experience. I'm like, this is the first time I had that opportunity to interview a band with some handlers. But yeah. And this is also, I got to mention, this is the morning show. So isn't it the breakfast show?
That's still at Virgin. Yeah, that's actually right beside the studio where we did Jason Derulo.
Oh, okay, awesome.
So the Jason Derulo interview was our main studio where I ran the show.
Right.
And that was just like our specific interview studio.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
Like, it's been a while, so I kind of took a break so I could live life and really get raw again, you know, and go back to that place where I'm writing songs.
Vito, mine out of the gutter. Mine out of the gutter, Vito.
Write a song, you know, 'cause-
So when can...
Sorry, what was that, Jay?
I missed that watch. I love that watch. I miss that watch so much. The strap kept breaking.
I also want to say this is the least like crazy hair you've had in anything I've seen you in is in this interview right here. Very muted.
It's very chill. I think it was growing. I think I shaved it. It was growing back.
Oh, that's what it was. That makes sense. Makes sense. Keep going.
Canadians hope to see you on the road. When are we announcing all the dates for the tour?
We are going to be in Latin America in November, and then the big North American tour launches January 2013.
Nelly Furtado coming to you sometime between now and the next 5 years. Going to be on the road. Thanks for coming in, Nelly.
Thank you. It was great talking to you.
Great talking to you too.
99.9 You are listening to Manimal and the Coog. It's 13 minutes shy of the hour. To my right is Karen the Coog, and you look awful this morning.
One too many White Russians last night. Yeah, that, and I drank too much.
Me so horny. All right, we got a listener in the
Shock job.
Simon, I will give you free barbecue if you let Little Elvis taser your balls.
Little Elvis. Taser your balls.
Medical personnel status.
Oh.
So much. We have a winner. I mean, a winner. You enjoy that barbecue, my friend. Courtesy of Sanderson's Funeral Home, putting the fun back in funeral.
What was the skit?
Let's talk about...
Yeah, because Maddog here has some acting credits, and that's something I found out looking into. I was really surprised about that. Acting credits. In this case, that was Manimal on CTV's Satisfaction. And I had never heard of the show before. It only ran a single season, I think, right?
Yeah, the girl that wrote that episode wrote that because she listened to my show, so she wrote it for me.
Oh, wow.
She called me and said, dude, I wrote a part for you. Do you want to come do it? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. And they wrote it for Maddog, but for copyright reasoning, they couldn't, because of the different companies, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
They couldn't use Maddog. So it was Manimal. But
Manimal.
We shot it like in an afternoon, and I just remember it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun doing that.
That is awesome. So I looked it up. It's a relationship comedy. Follows the lives of couples Maggie Bronson and Jason Howell along with their single friend and roommate Mark Movenpick as they navigate their way through their early 20s.
You don't think I watched the show, do you?
No.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I would either.
I never saw an episode.
No. Okay. And then and that's Canadian.
I'm sure it was great though.
And then you were acting across from the guy who got tased in the balls there is well-known Canadian actor Pat Thornton, right?
Yeah, he's in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, actor and comedian, I should say, stand-up comedian as well.
Yeah,
so.
I got lucky, man. I got to work with a lot of people. I worked with Willie Nelson. That was a blast.
Yeah, that's going to come up next. Hold on, let's pull that up.
About your excursions into other media. I know you've done television.
We're back. I'm Little Kenny Friedman. You're listening to 3 Chord Monty on KNGY. We are very excited to have live in our studio the legendary Willie Nelson. I know you've been reading a lot about Willie in the papers. Everybody seems to have
hair, dude.
But tonight we're going to forget about all that and enjoy the music. Willie, would you like to introduce the band?
Hey, if you're into garage music.
Okay, before we go any, oh, there it is. Hold on, let's go back a little bit.
Yeah, you can hold it right there.
I could hold it right there. Yeah.
That hair, man. That was peak tips. Black and blonde.
So what we just saw is you were in the episode